Hey guys, what's up? So it's been something like over a year now since I posted a video on the FD or on my channel in general. So where have I been? Here is the FD. It seems like I've moved, but in fact since the last video I finished the engine rebuild and we've done a lot of stuff to it. And in fact it's crazy the amount of work that I've gotten done to it. So I think the last video I did, I had just painted the engine bay. That's crazy to think that that was the last video I uploaded to YouTube. So here we are today. Here is my 13B. It looks kind of messy. It's currently having some issues, but let's explain where, rewind all the way back to where it got, when it was painted. It got painted, I was ordering parts, and I was building the motor. I did a full half Bridgeport job on it, not a full bridge, but I did a half Bridgeport job on it with pretty big bridges from Built to Apex. I got their templates from Nate. So beyond the porting, I also got my rotors lightened, I got the assembly balanced, and I upgraded the turbos. So I have B&R Stage 3 turbos from B&R Motorsports. I have all the custom pipe work that I did locally here with Sobe Speed. We've got the custom Y pipe with the integrated blow-off valve. It's obviously extended for the B&Rs. I've got the custom HKS RS intakes. We've got the booster delete, the ABS delete, the coolant system overdue. We've got the solenoid system all redone. The custom vacuum tanks back here that basically eliminate all of the plastic components in the vacuum system. I've upgraded my fuel system. I'm actually about to upgrade my fuel system again, but more on that later. I have my custom manifold that I really went all the way through and made myself. Underneath here you really can't see it, but I have a remote mount idle air control valve. It's crazy, it's over the top, just over the top everything. Basically Revolution water neck, I have the FFE trigger wheel, aluminum power steering reservoir, custom wiring harness, the whole 9 yards. So I've had this on the road for a couple of months, on and off. I keep running into issues with fueling, spark, and timing and stuff like that. Basically, it comes down to I've modified this car to an extent where the map and the tune have become something very finicky and finessed. That's something that you really need to finesse on this car. So I'm working with a local tuner. We're getting there, but we are no longer on a PFC, no longer have the Power FC from Apexi. What I have is an Adaptronic modular plug and play. So I've kind of dumped a lot of money into this car. Not kind of, I have dumped a lot of money into this car. I don't even want to go over the numbers, but I'm sure it's close to 10,000 or more. I don't even want to think about it. I have recouped a lot of that money via doing some side jobs and selling parts off of this and selling stuff I don't need. But yeah, that's where I'm at. We've got all of this work done. It's currently not running. It's currently not starting. I have a CJ Motorsports fuel rail and Injector Dynamics injectors on the way. And I have the IGNA or whatever the heck they are called, coils on the way as well. So that's coming from TurboSource through a local tuner here named Wandering Gaijin. And basically once that stuff gets here, I'll be able to get the final tune on this car, and hopefully I will have a car that I can really daily drive, because it's been times where I can drive this for weeks on end, and then it just runs into a weird issue, like I had a bad fuel injector. I've had my map get deleted, I've had vacuum issues, so I really just need to boil this car down and get it to a state where I can work out all the small bugs and small details. It's partially my fault because I went ahead and I upgraded and modified literally every system everywhere. The one thing that I can say has been rock solid has been my wiring. I did a custom wire tuck. I don't know if you can see, there are no relays, no battery, no anything in this engine bay aside from the necessities when it comes to wiring. That has all been tucked inside the glove box, all tucked away inside my dash. So let's move on to the interior of the car real quick. So, I still have the bride brakes that I really want to get a pair for, but you've got my custom interior and a lot of custom parts in here. And that's kind of moving on to the next thing. So some of you may know me from the truck that I had, the Volkswagen. Well, I'm kind of starting a new business venture, and I'm getting out of the military and I want to work for myself, and I really want to do what I've always loved doing, which is making and creating and innovating parts for cars and innovating cars in general. So let me show you some of the stuff that I've been doing in my spare time. You can see my interior. I've flocked the dash. I've got my custom interior pieces that I've made. So let me show you some of the stuff that I've made and explain to you what I've been doing for the past year. So I made these rings right here for the steering wheel. I make these cup holders. I also make a different type of those cup holders that take this out and they slot in like this. So I also make these shift knobs. I make these radio bezels. That one's not sitting flush right now. I make the... Alright, so I said I sold my truck, and what I did with the money that I got from the truck was I bought a ton of equipment. And I bought everything that I thought I would need and could afford at the time to start making parts and producing stuff that I had in my head. This whole time I've been over here, I've been kind of going stir crazy. I don't have a garage, even though I've done a few engine rebuilds. In the process of building that, I also rebuilt another rotary engine here in my living room. So I've rebuilt another rotary in here. I've gotten a lot of experience and kind of going stir crazy, not being able to do hands-on stuff. So despite all the stuff that I have been able to do hands-on, I still want to do more. I want to create. And one of the things that's coming on in my life is I'm actually about to get out of the military. So I decided to start my own business. And that's when I started Drake's. Some of you know I used to have a business called Drake's Performance. I sold Audi performance parts and stuff like that. So now what I'm selling is just various automotive parts for a lot of different platforms. So let me show you some of the equipment I have and what I've been doing in the last year. So here is kind of my work area. It's a mess, I know, I'm sorry, but here's kind of where the magic happens when it comes to creating the parts. So to start that off, I bought this Einscan Pro. It's a really fancy, not over the top scanner. It can scan 3D environments, 3D objects and stuff like that. And then you basically get a mesh that you can work with. I'll show some of those up on the screen right now. So once you have that mesh, you can really use them as a template and create different designs off them. And it gives you really accurate results that you can then turn into different parts or different measurements that you need for making stuff. So this is about $4,000 if some of you were curious. It's not as fancy as a handy scan or something like that. It's, you know, not a 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or $60,000 scanner, but it gets the job done for what I need, and it was kind of crucial and vital into the first steps in what I needed to get going. So this was the first piece. It's a pretty awesome tool, and it's been a steep learning curve to learn how to use it. Next thing that I got was this Raise 3D N2 Plus. It's a dual extruder 3D printer. Now this isn't just like some $200 printer. This is a top of the line, like pretty much commercial. It's right on the edge of being a commercial style printer. You can really get some high quality prints out of this thing. It's currently a mess. It's dirty, but it's a workhorse. I use this thing every single day. I produce parts. Those gauge pods that I showed you come out of this. The shift knobs, pretty much everything that I've made so far come out of this machine, and it's really just a fantastic machine. So like I said, I got this printer. It's my workhorse, and I just use it every single day to make parts. I really enjoy using it, pushing it to the limit on what you can and can't create. It's about $4,000, just like the scanner was. The thing with this printer is it doesn't ship to Japan. I probably have one of, if not one of a very few of these printers here in Japan. They don't ship here. You basically can't get it. The freight charge on this was more than the printer cost itself. So when I contacted them, they weren't willing to work with me on shipping at all, but I really had to have just this printer. So I contacted a friend back in the States, and he went through the painstaking task of breaking this down to every last nut, bolt, and screw, and he shipped it to me in 4 ridiculously huge boxes that I then took and reassembled here in Okinawa. So I'm really thankful to have this. I'm thankful to have friends that, you know, go through the trouble of doing something like that for me. And yeah, so after I got this machine, I started making parts, and I started getting popular. I mean, a lot of people really like what I make, and I got approached by a company out here called Innovative Prints Okinawa. Now, Innovative Prints Okinawa is run by a guy named James, and James is getting too busy with his parts and what he was doing, and he was getting a little bit back ordered and stuff like that. So he contacted me, and he asked if I would be willing to purchase Innovative Prints off of him. So I really liked what he had done, but I wanted to make a lot of improvements, and he kind of felt the same way. So I went ahead and I did what was necessary, and I bought Innovative Prints Okinawa. So when I got that company, I got this printer and this printer and this printer and a ton of material, and I got something like 40 to 80 different parts that he already made for JDM cars: Chasers, Soarers, S13s, S14s, R32s, GTSTs, and everything like that in between. So basically it gave me the ability to get 2 years ahead of the curve. All that production work and all the parts development that he'd already done on all those parts, I don't have to do anymore. So I'm currently migrating all of his parts and all of his products and stuff like that from Innovative Prints over to www.draklore.com, or Drake's. So here you can see I'm printing out one of the brackets for my dash pods, and you can kind of see the process. Really all it does is it extrudes plastic layer by layer by layer until you have a part. You know, you're limited in what you can create, but you're only really limited by your imagination, because there's always a solution, there's always a way to, you know, make a part that, you know, if you just got to think outside the box, and you can make it happen. So this is Mr. Handy, because it's a really handy printer. It just does the job. It's a single extruder, it's heated bed, and it doesn't have a huge print volume like the Rays, but boy does this like just work. It just works. It just gets the job done. And then I have Codsworth, because Codsworth is kind of crazy. It's got a lot more features, but it's kind of on the fritz. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to want to work for me all the time. And then I've got a few other printers like this one that are currently in the process of being rebuilt and remade and stuff like that. But yeah, let me show you some of the parts that I've been making. That's what I'm really excited about. Forget all this other stuff. What I'm really excited to show you is the parts, because there's a huge stigma against 3D printing and printed parts, and it's cheap and it's easy, right? Everything's easy to do. It's not easy, trust me. You need the machines. 2, you need the talent and the ability to create the parts and the ideas to come up with them. And then it's not just a matter of being able to, like, you know, envision the parts. You have to be able to make them in the software, and that's something that took me months and months and months of learning. So here's some of my gauge pods. You can see those right there. I think I have like a billion of these angled left-hand drive ones. These are left-hand drive ones. The ones out in the car were right-hand drive ones. I make the FD topper. Here's a bunch of the brackets for the bottom of these. Basically, just screw to the bottom here. Shift knobs. Now these are weighted. Inside of this shift knob there is a metal insert that's threaded, and it gives it quite a bit of weight. I think these are close to 300 grams. Here's a Mark III Supra gauge pod. It sits in the vents. I'll show some pictures on screen of where this sits. I've got the radio bezels. PFC holders, and then I make everything, you know, down to like emblems and beauty rings for Nardi steering wheels. You know, just really simple stuff that usually costs a lot of money. These are something like $90 if you get them from Nardi or on eBay, and I can sell this for 20 bucks or something like that, and it makes it really simple. You know, gauge pods. This is from Innovative Prints. You can see the logo on there, and yeah, just all kinds of stuff. The cup holders, and there's just a huge plethora of parts that I can make, and every day the inventory of what I do make and what I can offer is growing, and that's what I really love about this technology and the emerging technology that I will eventually be getting into, like molding and casting and mass production and CNC and all that other stuff. That's where I really want to take all this stuff. I really want to be able to CNC parts and really innovate in those different areas as well. So yeah, you've seen pretty much all of this stuff. This is what I've been doing. This is what I'm making. I hope you guys really enjoy. If you guys enjoy my YouTube content and you enjoy what I've built on the channel and shown you on the channel so far, then I hope you guys go to my website and check out some of the parts that I make. Just remember, if I don't make it and it's not on the website, I can make it. Every day I'm creating something new. I've got like 30 things on order right now for people who are like, can you make this part? Can you make that part? I can make it. I can definitely make it. But, you know, I just need people who are willing to work with me and willing to pay for my services, and I can make your parts come true or come to reality. So I just need your ideas. So yeah, that's the business side of things. One last thing, a quick update on the BBS wheels that I got a while back. I'm sure some of you guys remember I spent $200 on these wheels at a junkyard. Well, here they are, all built up, 3-piece wheels. Made these custom bubble lips to go from the 17-inch face to the 18-inch. I got the hardware from them, and then I had Okinawa powder coat this custom copper bronze color, and I really love the way that these came out. So only thing left for these right now is to just build them and throw some tires on them. So obviously these have quite the lip on them, and they're not going to fit on my stock body. So out there I've got a lot of custom wide body parts. I have Charge Speed front fenders, and I have Origin Lab rear fenders, and I have a lot of other special like Mazda Speed front bumper, and I've got a feed hood that I've got to put on the car. So basically all that's going to come together before I get the car out of here, and I'm excited to see everything on the car. I'll show some pictures of the wheels, test fitted up over the years, and yeah, just progress is being made. I'm sorry I haven't been updating on the YouTube channel. I've been updating in learning new software, learning new techniques, new ways to make stuff, and yeah, life comes at you fast. So peace. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for sticking with me for so long. I hope I can provide more content and more updates on stuff in the future. Thanks for watching.